Welcome to the Entrepreneurial CPA Show, where we take a deep dive into the knowledge you need to become an entrepreneurial CPA. To get you started, it takes both sides, a little yin, a little yang, the theoretical and the practical. That's why we're here. I'm Garrett Wagner, CPA, and I'm here with Dr. Sean Stein Smith, CPA, your entrepreneurial CPA hosts. So let's have some fun. Let's learn something. We're continuing on our blockchain and AI series of talks here today. You can check out our prior videos on our YouTube channel. We've got a great show for you today. We're to talk about public versus private blockchains. That thing you probably say, I have no idea what you're talking about. But that's why we have Dr. Sean here.
Okay, and so really the basic thing to understand about blockchain is that there are a ton of different options out there, right? And sort of the term is tossed around by Garrett, me, everybody out there right now, but most people don't understand what it actually means. And so a big sort of difference to outline and to understand first is the difference between a public blockchain and a private blockchain. So the public blockchain is basically the blockchain or the underlying infrastructure that actually runs the cryptocurrency Bitcoin, right? So this public blockchain is open to anybody to join. All you have to do is to go online and download the actual software, right? And after that, you and your computer are then part of this big public chain. And so, I mean, all of that is great. It's open access. It is not governed by any overarching institution or by a government. But if everybody is a part of this blockchain, it's going to be awfully hard to actually do a business, right? Because, and the actual technical details are a whole topic by themselves. But if everybody or a majority of the members have to approve and verify every piece of data that block as it's added onto the chain, all of that confirmation eats up a ton of time. So a option for private companies or for organizations, right, who are trying to implement that tool into their own network is the private blockchain. And basically all that a private blockchain is a blockchain built out by a company like a Walmart or a IBM, built out by them internally, and then after it's built out and all of the rules and all of the IT stuff is done, they then invite other members of their networks, right? Whether it's vendors, suppliers, or partners, to then join their own private blockchain. And really, the main upside of this private blockchain is that while you get the benefits of this access and this real-time updating of information, the whole confirmation process is much faster. And Garrett, I'm gonna toss it to you now. I'm gonna hammer home some of the applications that this private blockchain has for industry, auditors, tax, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, it's one that's it's coming. It's coming faster than we think. And for some of us, and depending on your size CPA firm, it might be a couple years out, it might be here today. But for those in the private world, it's going to start with the big companies, like Dr. Sean mentioned, the Walmarts, the big ones. They're using it to streamline their process. They're using it to more accurately verify information that goes in and outside of their walls, their virtual and their digital walls. So on the audit side, it's going to really change the way confirmations work. That's the big buzzword, is the confirmation. It's the verification of assets across parties. We can look at it as something like what happened with stock certificates. Does anyone today still have stock certificates sitting in a closet somewhere or a house? No, I've got an older uncle that every so often I see him. He goes, Garrett, you're not gonna believe this. I found another $100,000 of stock certificates in my closet. That's gone away. Now there's electronic records. And
nice problem to have, though.
Right? I'd like to find that. But hey, that's going to be a thing of the past, because now the data is verified across all parties. So it's something for firms to think about. Once again, we've talked about this a lot. If that repetitive part of your job can be eliminated, what else are you going to do to add value to those client relationships? So blockchain is going to be a leveraging tool to do just that. Streamline the process, be more forward thinking, be more analytical. And that's why you need these skills to be entrepreneurial. So in future sessions, we're going to talk a little more about the skills you need to do that. But now it's understand the technology so you can get ready. On the tax side, same process of if you're doing a personal tax return, there could be 30 or 40 pieces of information from multiple organizations that you need to get to do the tax return. Imagine they're all part of a big blockchain, and all you had to do with that client was say, okay, client, put your name in, your social, put your blockchain key in here, and it's going to pull the data from all those sources into the tax software and populate all those fields. Imagine a world where we're doing tax returns where there was almost no manual entry anymore. That's the power of the blockchain. And that's what companies and businesses are working on building today. So you need to get ready for it. So Dr. Sean, what are you seeing in the banking world? Are they getting ready to take advantage of this private and public blockchain endeavors?
Absolutely. I mean, because if you actually take a sort of high level view, the whole idea of the blockchain is to actually cut out companies like banks, right? So it's a existential threat to how they operate, right? Because really, at the end of everything, and I don't mean to insult anybody in the banking industry, but for most individuals and companies, banks serve really two purposes. One, it's to actually verify that the identities of the parties who are doing business are accurate, right? And there's a whole bunch of rules and guidelines around that area. So one, all the parties have to be identified. And then two, like the main function of that third party, right? Banks, PayPal, any third party, is to make sure that the dollars sent between party A and party B actually get there on time and in full. So if a blockchain is a peer-to-peer platform, right? Private blockchain is a peer-to-peer platform used by companies, right, to actually do business and to send information and funds to each other. Absolutely, banks are all over this right now. They are investing billions of dollars, thousands of individual man hours into how to understand this tool and then actually how to use it to help them sort of get out in front of this curve. Absolutely.
Very nice.
I know Jamie Dimon, every time that he's asked about it, right? Jamie Dimon, he's the CEO of JP Morgan, right? One of the biggest banks in the world. And every time a anchor asks him on this topic, he always is saying how much they are investing into this area. So yeah, it's a real force. It's coming, and while it is going to start at those bigger tier firms, it is going to impact all of us all the way down.
That's very important. It's going to impact all of us. So do something different being inside of a CPA firm than the past. Don't wait till it hits you like a ton of bricks. Be proactive. Think about it ahead of time. And if you want to be really, really entrepreneurial, think about public versus private blockchain and what it means, what we just talked about. And really push yourself, think about what are industries it could apply in. Is that a business endeavor you could really create and get behind? Because it's going to change a lot of pieces when it comes to verifying ownership of assets across fields. So there's some really big opportunity there to make a name for yourself. So think about that. A lot of opportunities to be entrepreneurial. So with that, I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. If you're looking to learn more, if you've got questions, public, private blockchain, please contact Dr. Sean or myself. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep the learning going. As always, we challenge you to take action today to change the world and invest in yourself.